And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Wednesday, February 14th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. A Wednesday morning, and we're glad to have you with us. And, of course, we're on the air for Cedarstone Bank. Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, Simple Banking, Simply Better. Bob McDonald is with us. He's coming by phone this morning. President, CEO, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Good to hear your voice.
Great to hear your voice. I regret to not be live and in person with you there in Studio B, but I appreciate you always accommodating me by calling in when this is necessary.
Well, I think we do about the same when you're on the phone as we would if you were live in studio. We've done this so many times, and there's so many really great things to say about Cedarstone Bank.
Well, we are very proud to be a part of your program as we have since 2008. And as we talk so oftentimes on the air about how important being a part of your program is to our bank, it's a very important part of our strategy. And so we are thankful that you give us the opportunity to be a part of your program, Coleman. All of y'all are important to us, you and Billy and MJ and, of course, Susie. And we just thank the world of you, Coleman, and appreciate your friendship over many years. And we've talked a little bit. April will mark our 20th anniversary, and y'all been with us from day one, Coleman.
That is great. Yeah, Wednesday wouldn't be the same without you, Bob, without Cedarstone especially, and you're here most of the time.
Yeah, when I can't make it, I know Robert enjoys being up there with y'all, and Melinda fills in some, so we all enjoy coming to see you, Coleman. And of course, always sticking our head in and saying hi to MJ and Billy.
Right. How loans going right now?
Well, yeah, loans are we're very busy, Coleman, and it's we told you that 2023 was our best year ever in terms of growth and for loans and deposits and earnings, and we expect 2024 to be much the same, and we're expecting a pretty similar rate environment for most of 2024 as we saw for the second half of last year. And, Coleman, we saw some inflation numbers come out earlier in the week that showed that inflation popped up a bit, and that made the market react negatively yesterday. And the market made that reaction in part because of concern or fear that the Fed's not going to be dropping rates as soon and as much or as often during this year as economists had predicted. So we'll just have to let this play out, see what happens today. And there clearly will be some type of correction in the stock market, Coleman, this year. There's been so much growth in for the last year. But there's still a lot of favorable predictions for the economy for 2024.
I read up on this a little bit nearly every day, and there's quite a bit of diverse opinion here. It kind of depends on who you ask as to what kind of answer you're going to get, but there's a lot of positive comments, and there's some that are rather negative. So I don't know who to believe.
Yeah, that's true. You just have to kind of break it down and look at your and our more specific market, our more micro market, as they would call it, and right here in your listening area, the economy is very strong. It's very diverse. The consumers are very confident. Wages are still good. Employment is still good, and home prices are still very good. So everybody, all the individuals, their income is good, their assets are good, so that's what brings confidence, and that's what makes people go out and go to restaurants and go buy things. So we're fortunate that we continue to be in a very healthy market.
One of the great things with the bank and with its customers is the relationship that's established, and one of the best ways to get that relationship established is that Simply Better free checking account you offer. So I know you want to mention that this morning.
Yeah, we'll mention that as we wrap up our time with you, and the free checking account. It is free. It is simple. There are no strings attached. It allows folks to do their banking as they choose. If they want to write a check and come in the bank and see our great people, they can do that. If they prefer to do their banking electronically, we have all the bells and whistles for technology as it relates to doing your banking. You can move money from account to account. You can make payments. So I'm told that our electronic banking is second to none and is best of when folks have various accounts. They enjoy ours the most. So that makes us pleased to know that. So we encourage your listeners who do not bank with us now to come visit with us. Let us talk about how we can offer them that free checking or some type of loan that they might need.
All right, great. Well, Bob, thanks for being with us today. Going to be a great one, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Thanks, Coleman. Have a great day, my friend.
All right. Bob McDonald, President, Chief Executive Officer, Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. And we are 10 minutes after the hour. This is the Wednesday we feature Cumberland University. Rusty Richardson is with us this morning. And Rusty, Executive Director of Community Relations and External Affairs. I always like to get that title in there. That's a good long one. But good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. Great to be here.
It's a nice morning. It's a typical February morning, I guess.
Typical February, start in the 30s, and by midday we're going to be in the 60s. So it's a great, almost spring day.
Well, you have three people who are joining you this morning. You're going to be introducing here, and I think we're going to have an interesting program. We always have an interesting program about Cumberland. You see to that each month, and we appreciate that.
Happy to do it. Yes, we've got a full program for you this morning. I do want to, because we've got so much to talk about, I want to spend just a moment talking about two things to begin with. First, we have our official spring enrollment numbers, and that number is 2,858 students, which is the largest spring enrollment we've ever had. In fact, it's more than 500 more students than we had last spring in the spring of 2023. So things continue to grow, and we're on all the correct path to have even the larger enrollment next fall and set another record. So I want to share that great news. The other great news I want to share, we had a wonderful event this past Saturday night, the Notes for Nurses event, a fundraising program to raise specifically dollars for nursing scholarships. Mm-hmm. And with the help of many generous sponsors, many supporters, it was a very successful event. We think we grossed about $100,000 at that event. Now, we'll have some expenses that come out of that, but a great event, and that was the first time we'd been able to hold that since 2019 because of COVID had to be put on the back burner there. So just a great event, had about 240 people there.
Wow, so, you've got to be pleased with that six figures.
Very pleased. Certainly want to thank Beth McCall and the committee that put everything together. And again, the sponsors, there were so many of them, Cedarstone, for example, Vanderbilt, Wilson County Hospital, and many, many others. Too many to name this morning, but just want to thank all of them again for their support.
Okay.
So I want to get right to our guests today because I have three guests with me. And this is the first time any of them have been on this show. So I'm pleased to introduce Jenny Ballard, who's our Assistant Professor of Theater, Sandy Elliott, the Assistant Professor of Music and the Director of our choirs, and Dr. John Ray, the Assistant Professor of Applied Voice. And we're talking about their programs, Music and the Arts at Cumberland, and they have so much information to share. I want to get right to them.
All right. Well, who wants to go first?
They're all pointing fingers at each other.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here. I'm Sandy Elliott. I'm Director of Choirs and Professor of Music.
Well, how long have you been at Cumberland?
Well, this is my first full year, but I've been teaching there 3 years. I'm also an alumni of Cumberland.
Well, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
So I went to Cumberland when it was a junior college. A long time ago under Dr. Burt Coble, and I just recently retired from being the director of choirs at Mount Juliet High School for 22 years. And my dream was always to come back to Cumberland, and here I am, and I'm loving every minute of it.
So you have been in education then pretty much all your adult life?
Most of my adult life, yes.
Yeah. What led you in that direction?
Well, I thought it all the way. I didn't want to be a teacher. My dad used to tell me, this is what you should do, and So I wanted to be a performer and a college professor, but I ended up teaching high school, just went in the schools with my children when they were little and said, this is where I want to be. So I went back to Cumberland and got my master's in education and started teaching at Mount Juliet High School.
Mm-hmm. And what's Cumberland like now?
Cumberland's very different. There weren't nearly as many buildings when I was there. And I love it when it's between classes and the sidewalks are full and students are walking all over. And it's just a great feeling to be there and feel the energy with the numbers higher than they've ever been before.
Yeah. And what exactly are you doing?
So I am director of choirs. And we originally had 2 choirs, University Singers, which is a mixed group, and Chorale, which is a women's choir. But this year, the gentleman came to me and asked for a men's choir. So we now have 3 choirs. And we are preparing for our concert on April 26th, which is open to the public. We'd love everybody to come out. I also teach music courses for music majors and general education music classes. And I am the music director for the spring musical.
Sound like you're quite busy.
Very busy.
What about the men's choir? Taking on something new and different. That is a different scenario, isn't it?
Yes. So they came to me last semester and said, can we have a men's choir? And I'm like, okay. So we had an interest meeting this semester, and we have 16 gentlemen in the choir, and we rehearse every other Friday morning.
Well, when are you going to have a women's choir?
We do. The chorale is a women's choir. Chorale and singers are actually classes. The men's choir is just more of a club.
Okay.
And they meet without any credit.
It is time for us to take a break, and we'll reintroduce everybody from Cumberland here in a minute. But right now, a break on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford. They've got the Works Vehicle Checkup. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. $59.95, up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal, tire rotation, and safety checks. 1780 Franklin Road. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's starting to slow down again up in Sumner County through Millersville on 65 going southbound. That's been on and off like that this morning. Here comes that heavy traffic flow as we check it out live on 40 West in from the Mount Juliet area, Wilson County through Hermitage into Donaldson. It's still loading up even more on 24 westbound at 840. I'll let traffic in from Rutherford County, Murfreesboro through the Smyrna and Laverne area. Hey, Prince's Hot Chicken. They're hiring at all their locations. You can order online at princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Elevate your possibilities with the wide selection of equipment from Harris Trading Company in Lebanon. Harris Trading offers sales and rentals on a large variety of construction and agricultural equipment. Golf carts, dump trailers, livestock trailers, skid steer attachments, utility trailers, and much more. See us for all of your rental and sales needs. Family owned and operated, conveniently located just south of the Watertown exit on I-40. Find Harris Trading online at harristradingcompany.com.
My name is Heather Sadler-Gallagher, and I'm asking for your vote to serve on the Lebanon Special School District School Board. Every student deserves to be taught skills and lessons that set them up for success beyond the classroom. Every parent deserves a school board member who will listen to their concerns. Every teacher deserves enough resources to do their job well. Every voter deserves a school board that is a good steward with their tax dollars. That's why I'm fighting to put kids, not politics, first.
Paid for by committee to elect Heather Sadler-Gallagher, School Board. Kirsten Harris, Treasurer.
It's tax time, and Cars Unlimited Tax Service is locally owned and has 33 years of experience in preparing taxes. They do upfront loans of $250 to $6,000. They're also an authorized IRS e-file provider. Call 615-449-2955 or stop by 1006 West Main Street in Lebanon. Cars Unlimited Tax Service stands ready to help you prepare your taxes. We continue here on a Wednesday morning. Let me reintroduce the cast on the Cumberland this morning. Of course, Rusty Richardson, Executive Director of Community Relations and External Affairs. We have talked with Sandy. We have talked with Sandy Elliott, who is the Assistant Professor of Music and Director of Choirs, and found out that we do have a men's choir now. And now I guess it's time for Jenny Ballard. Jenny, good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right. What do you got for us today?
Well, I am the Assistant Professor of Theater at Cumberland University. I also am the director of all of the productions that we do. I moved up here in August of last year. This is my second semester at Cumberland. I love it here. It's really, really wonderful. I feel like I'm home.
Well, what do you have in your background you'd like to tell us about?
So I recently moved from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm from Tennessee originally. I'm from Knoxville. I went to UT Knoxville. Go Vols! So I will represent there. But I've been teaching as an adjunct professor at LSU for the past several years, as well as running a nonprofit theater company in Baton Rouge, Theater Baton Rouge. So it's been a really great several years, but I was ready to re-enter the workforce as a full-time professor, and this was a wonderful opportunity.
Were you familiar with Cumberland prior to this?
I was. So a good friend of mine was actually from Lebanon, Tennessee, and so I spent a decent amount of time here and was familiar with Cumberland as a result.
Well, if you were familiar with it in the past, it is certainly a different scene when you come there now, with all the additional buildings, the growth on the campus, the additional parking lots.
I know, and it's still not enough parking.
Get a plug in there. Well, no doubt you enjoy what you're doing, but talk a little bit more about what all you are doing at Cumberland.
So we're doing quite a bit. Right now, as Sandy said, we're in rehearsals for the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, which is our spring musical. We're going to be running that March 21st through 24th at the Heidel Art Center, so we can't wait for that one. We have just a great cast. It's a really wonderful music that centers around 6 spellers who are competing in a spelling bee, and each time one of them steps up to the mic, we hear a little bit about their backstory and what they're going through in their life, and it's really funny and really moving with great music. We're super excited, and everybody's just doing a great job thus far. So everyone should come see that. Tickets are only $20 and $10 for students.
Now, how many you've got participating? Maybe how many be on stage?
So we have 13 in the cast, plus we have a live orchestra, which is made up of both professionals and students that's going to be on stage during the show. So total, we're going to have about 20 people on stage, which is a great place to be.
Well, that'll be here before you know it, March 21st and through the 24th. How many performances?
So we have 4 performances,
So,
Thursday through Saturday at 7 p.m., Sunday at 2 p.m.
all right, so 4 different opportunities, and if you like it really well, you can come back if you come early enough.
And you should. You'll want to.
I'm intrigued by the title here. I guess it has nothing to do with our Putnam. Actually, it may even be spelled different.
No, it's actually spelled exactly the same. And we've had a few people ask that. Dr. Mason actually said the other day, is this Putnam County, Tennessee? And I said, it is now.
All right. Well, that in itself is probably another reason to think about coming to see that.
Absolutely. You have that local Tennessee tie-in. You're going to see students that you've seen in previous performances on the stage. And the theater is really experiencing a massive revitalization right now. We're doing some renovations on the theater itself, which is really exciting. And we're just in a new age in the
Well, what do you
performing
attribute
arts
that
department.
to, or do you? Why?
So I think we have great faculty who are moving and shaking and really coming up with a lot of great ideas and a way to move forward in a very sustainable fashion. And I think we have so many great students on campus right now. Plus, we have a very supportive Oakley faculty who is really backing us at all times, which is really nice. We could not do it without the support that we have.
Well, I guess we sort of have things that come and go, trends. I'm searching for a word here, but anyway, nothing stays the same. We have change, but a lot of things that were popular years ago do have a way of coming back and maybe presenting in a little bit different form, but I guess that's kind of what we're talking about here.
You know, it's interesting. I think COVID kind of changed the face of theater and the way it operates. So I think post-COVID, we have a way to rebrand ourselves. We have a chance to really reintroduce who we are. And I think this new musical theater program that we have is very competitive, very exciting. I think we're on the cusp of being something really amazing. And I think students should really check us out. We're a great program.
Okay, let's slide over to Dr. John Ray now, Assistant Professor of Applied Voice. And we're going to ask you a few of the same things. Tell us a little bit about yourself, if you will, and how you came to be at Cumberland.
Well, Coleman, first of all, thank you for having us. this morning.
Always a pleasure.
I came to Cumberland last year as an adjunct, and then the program director position opened up, and I applied. And I was sort of semi-retired and came out of retirement. I missed working with the students, and so this opportunity came along, and I just jumped on it. My history, I have a doctorate in music and in vocal performance from the University of Alabama, Roll Tide. And
I think I'm going to say go Phoenix. I'll make Dr. Stum happy this morning.
absolutely, we're all about Phoenix for sure. That's for sure. And I've spent my career primarily in higher education, and then also as a professional performer. So I'm thrilled to be a part of Cumberland, and as program director, sort of my responsibility is to give some guidance to the program and establish some sort of a vision for it.
You kind of slid right past that professional performer or whatever. What's that about?
Well, I have spent my career performing on stage and in studios. I've been a studio session singer here in Nashville for about 20 years, and then I've also done opera and musical theater here in the United States and overseas.
Does that mean that you sang on some recordings on Music Row?
I did,
Yes.
in fact. Most of them hired as a session singer to do choral backup and those types of things. I've worked with folks as diverse as Michael W. Smith and all the way over to Ben Folds. So I've done a little bit of all of it.
All right. What else you got for us this morning?
Well, you know what? I'm excited to be a part of Cumberland. We have a top flight faculty at Cumberland, and especially in the performing arts program. And I'm thrilled to be on faculty with Professor Elliott and Professor Ballard. We've hired a new department band director, Max DeVoren, who is an up-and-coming multi-woodwind player who tours all over the country. We've got adjunct professors who give private instruction to instrumental students, and they are in the thick of performing in the national scene, playing at TPAC and all around for artists. So it's great to be a part of Cumberland at this time. We're sort of turning a corner and moving a new direction in the performing arts program, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
All right, we've got some upcoming events we need to talk about, and Rusty, I'll admit I've not followed your script too well this morning, but hopefully we're getting it all in. But I'm going to depend on you to kind of help close it out here.
Well, thanks. I am going to ask John real quickly to talk about the Arts Extravaganza.
Yes, first annual of these, we hope. It'll be at the Capitol Theater, April the 6th and the 7th. And it will feature all of our students in the arts. We're music, the choirs, the bands, theater, musical theater, creative writing, our art students, our color guard, our dance program. It'll be an extensive program at 7 o'clock on April the 6th on that Friday, and at 2 o'clock on on that Saturday, and April the 7th at 2 o'clock. It's going to be a great program, and tickets will be available soon. Be $20 for the general public, $10 for faculty, and $5 for student. And for interested in juniors and seniors in local high schools, we're looking at trying to get them in for free.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's going to be a great program. In keeping with the theme for this morning about music and the arts, I'm pleased to announce that the registration for our annual Camp Fame will open on March 1st. That's the summer camp, week-long summer camp that we have for students in the third grade all the way up through seniors in high school. Camp Fame, the Fame stands for Fine Arts Matter in Education. This will be the fourth year we've had Camp Fame, and looking forward to that again. And again, that registration will open in March. We have a number of other events coming up. Our annual Founders Day celebration on April 18th. Our largest graduation ever will be on May 4th. We say that every year now, the way those numbers keep growing. And then Phoenix Ball, which is now 109 days away, just because we're counting, is on June 1st. And those tickets are on sale now. But selling out quickly. So if listeners are interested in attending the annual Phoenix Ball, they can just go to phoenixball.com and purchase their tickets there.
Seems like it sells out a little bit sooner every year.
It sells out sooner every year. And again, the tickets just went officially on sale about 2 weeks ago. And we're already over 400 tickets sold, and we're limited to only about 500. So that's coming up. So as people have heard, your listeners have heard from our speakers today, it's an exciting time to be at Cumberland. There's so many things going on. I know oftentimes over the years I've had our sports coaches out.
Yep.
So I'm so pleased to be able to now focus on a different area, the fine arts. And since all of them have been involved in performing arts, you notice none of them seem nervous today like many of our guests that come out. They spoke right up and just couldn't ask for better guests.
I agree, and it's been really nice to have Sandy Elliott, the Assistant Professor of Music and Director of Choirs, Jenny Ballard, Assistant Professor of Theater, and Dr. John Ray, Assistant Professor of Applied Voice, as well as you, Rusty.
Thanks, Coleman. Always a pleasure to be here.
All right. Well, that's it. That's our program for Cumberland this morning in part one of Coleman and Company. We hope you'll keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota. Ride it off the lot. Ride it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Heavy traffic right now westbound on Vietnam Vets. That's what we're looking at live here at Conference Drive. You get all that heavy traffic flow trying to get into Hendersonville. Right now going westbound on Vietnam Vets. It continues to run a little bit slow from time to time. 24 westbound up through the Hickory Hollow area in from Rutherford County, Murfreesboro towards Nashville. 840's gotten a little bit crowded there in Paynesville and that section of Williamson County. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in Middle Tennessee. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Hey, this is Dr. Derek Gregory, and I'm proud to announce to you the opening of our brand new dental practice, Gregory Dental Group, at 1746 West Main Street, just across the road from Sports Village. Come experience modern dentistry at its best. We're always welcoming new patients, and I truly look forward to taking the best care of all your dental needs. Come by or call us today.
That's Gregory Dental Group, 615-444-0322, or online at myLebanonTNDentist.com. Gregory Dental Group, compassion, knowledge, skill.
Lots of sunshine as we go through today, warming up to a high of around 60 degrees. Overnight, mostly clear, low back down to 38. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm Stormy Clausen.
Welcome you to part two of Coleman and Company. Wednesdays at this time, we talk about Kane and Crowell PLLC. This law firm is located at 133 South College Street in Lebanon. It is the gray Victorian house that was built in the 1800s, and there's about 6 different people who come out here on alternate Wednesdays to let us know what's going on. Lindsay,
Johnson.
Lindsay, I got it right. Okay,
you
Lindsay
knew the
Johnson
first name.
is with us this morning, and we are glad to see you. How are you doing? How's everything?
It's great. Happy Valentine's Day.
We have a nice day. The sun is shining. It's going to get warmer, a little bit cool this morning, but you're here, of course, to talk about what you do for the law firm, and we remind people each week that really Kane and Crowell handles pretty much 2 general areas of law: family law and elder law. And I think you're part of the family law.
I am.
Yes. So what do you got for us today?
Well, Coleman, like you said, we do have those 2, I guess, umbrellas we could call it, but there's so many things that could fall under that. In family law, it's not just divorces. We do custody, we do adoptions, we do child support. Some people have, agreements that they just want us to come and put on paper. So, family law is a huge umbrella that we cover.
Do you have a particular part of that you maybe either specialize in or spend more time doing?
Right now, I've got a lot of divorces, which is kind of funny for what day it is, but right now I do have a lot of divorces. And, after Christmas, a lot of people don't want to file things around the holidays. So things kind of speed up for us in January and February.
Maybe because of a slowdown after Thanksgiving all through December.
I think people hold off and they try to keep the peace, but now the gloves come off and people start filing things again.
I wonder if you have to be a special person to kind of specialize in that. I mean, you're working for your client and trying to get done what needs to be done, but it's kind of a delicate situation, and probably don't want to offend anybody if you don't have to, but sometimes you most likely step on somebody's toes.
We do, and Amanda Crowell and I, funny you say that, we were talking the other day about how this job is not for the faint heart. We do, like you said, have a lot of delicate matters that we deal with, and you could just as easily have one side as the other. Sometimes it's just what cards you're dealt, what case you have. Sometimes the other side has a better case than you do, but you fight for your client and you do everything you can.
And there are certain laws that are involved too that you no doubt have to stay within.
Absolutely, and we tend to see the same judges because we tend to stay in our district, and so we have an idea of how judges typically are going to rule on something, but we tell people all the time we're not fortune tellers. We can't tell the future. We can take an educated guess with what the law says, but there's so many different ways to interpret laws.
And ultimately, I guess most cases are decided by a judge. Is that
well?
Sometimes you have a jury.
Oh no! Oh, okay. And you can request a jury. No one does. Yes,
okay.
If you're going to have a trial, yes, it would be a bench trial, and a judge would decide. Yes.
But somebody makes a decision depending on the information that has been presented.
Yes, sir.
And you just you're there for your client. But that's just the nature of the game, isn't it?
It is, and we say all the time that. Going to court is a gamble. There's only a couple legal kinds of gambling in Tennessee. You've got the lottery and you've got going to court. But it is a gamble when we go into a courtroom.
Meaning that sometimes you might be better just to take what has been presented. Other times you fight because you don't agree with that, or you want a little better, a little bit more.
Well, we have to go to mediation before we get to go to trials, and mediators always tell us that you have your fate in your hands right now, so you have a say-so in the final outcome of your case. But if you walk in that courtroom, you're trusting a person in a black robe that only gets to see a snapshot of your life at a 1-2 day trial, and they're going to make a decision. Right now at mediation, you have a say-so in what happens.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad there are people like you who I guess we can say you enjoy what you do.
I do,
even though it has some delicate times.
There's some emotional times, yes, but I do enjoy it.
Yeah. Most people, I suppose, either find out your phone number, 615-784-4800, or go to your website. There's a lot of information on your website.
We have a lot. We have blogs that explain some, typically asked questions, frequently asked questions. There's blogs all over our website. There's bios about each attorney if you want to get to know us.
Yeah. www.kane-law.com. www.kane-law.com, and a lot of people do get started there.
They do.
And then sometimes they pick you, or you get to be the one who helps them.
I get the pleasure, the honor.
How does that work?
Typically, we'll do a consultation with them. We'll bring them in, and for an hour they'll sit there and tell us what's their wish list, what would they like to see happen, but then they also give us a history of their case. If they already have gone to court before, they'll bring us documents so we can see where they are in the process. And then again, we tell them we're not fortune tellers, but this is really what the law says, and sometimes it's not on their side, and sometimes that's a hard conversation you have to have with people.
Right. And a lot of times children are involved, but not always.
Right.
And then there's the money angle, too.
Right.
So many things come into play here, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess that about takes care of our time here this morning. But Lindsey Johnson, thanks for being with us. Again, we'll remind you the phone number is 615-784-4800. It's Kane and Crowell, PLLC, 133 South College. And Lindsey, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we are 21 minutes before the hour, and I want to welcome my guests this morning. I tell you what, before I do, I'm going to announce this because if I get engrossed in conversation here, I might forget it. And Mary Harris sent me some information. I just want to pass along a little bit of it, and that is the fact that the Wilson County Black History Committee is proudly hosting the annual Black History Month celebration, We the People, and it's honoring Congressman John R. Lewis. This is going to be Sunday, February the 18th from 2 to 4 p.m. at Lebanon's First Baptist Rock and the historic Pickett Chapel at 209 East Market Street here in Lebanon. And the celebration Sunday will be from 2 to 4. We the People gathering at 1:55 will be welcomed by Mary Harris, and there's going to be some special music and some honorary presentations, a flag presentation, and a lot more. And everybody is invited. I think admission is free, but an offering or actually a donations will be appreciated. We'll say it like that. No admission, but donations appreciated. And with that, let's get right to it this morning. James Van Hook is here. James is all excited to be here and get to talk about Harris Trading Company at 1331 Sparta Pike here in Lebanon. Good morning.
That's right. Good morning, Coleman.
How are you?
Good, good.
Well, it's been a while since we have seen you. It's got a nice day going for us. A little cool this morning.
Yes, the weather is turning around, and along with that, everybody's spirits, and also it bleeds over into business starting to pick up, starting to get busy.
Well, that makes you feel good too.
Right. That's exactly right.
Well, we want to tell everybody Harris Trading Company, you almost can't miss it if you head towards Watertown and look over to the left after you go by Uncle Pete's, but it's just south of the Watertown exit on I-40, and you'll find James Van Hook there, who's all excited about renting you any piece of equipment that's available.
That's right. That's right. This that bad stretch of weather we had, and then all this rain we had, it seems like it just had kind of things dampened down. You know, people weren't out that much unless they really needed something specific. Your people out just kind of looking at what all's available. Didn't really get out in that weather, but the last couple of days, it's really starting to get a lot of traffic.
Yeah, we're glad to hear that. And there's something about a day like this, and especially it's going to get on, it's a little bit cool this morning, I think around 30 degrees perhaps. And
it's going to be nice.
Below freezing, but it's going to get up into maybe the 60s today.
I think so.
Tomorrow looks good before the rain comes, and you ought to do a lot of business today and tomorrow.
That's right. People are starting to get excited about their early spring chores starting to come up, starting to look at what equipment they may need to rent. We've got people coming by and looking at what we have available. They're planning ahead for their projects. So a lot of them to purchase something, but a lot to rent. And seeing what's available, they can figure out their project ahead of time.
You got any new pieces of, or not just new equipment, but new things, new stuff comes out from time to time, and I know you stay on the cutting edge. Try to. Anything new there right now?
It's hard to keep up. We have so many things coming in, and we are steadily adding things, different types of trailers, different pieces of skid steer equipment, and adding them to rental availability also as we go. Something comes to mind. We got in a new load of post hole drivers. Just comes to mind. We sold a couple the last couple days and rented. You put on the front of the skid steer, they drive those big posts in for your fences, and boy, that takes a ton of the work out of fencing.
And can do that fairly quickly, I guess.
Absolutely, drives it in like a nail.
Okay.
That's right.
And
yes, sir.
You get that there. That's it beats the alternative. It's got to.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and we're like I say, we're getting in. Steadily getting in a new load of trailers. We're almost running out of space. We need to move some trailers. As a matter of fact, we we've gotten in a lot of new selection of livestock trailers. Starting to be this time of year, people will be looking at that, and box trailers, a very high-end, heavy-built box trailers.
What are some of the uses for those?
Equipment.
Yeah.
A lot of contractors keep their equipment in the trailer on a daily basis, And these are the heavy built by Delco, heavy built solid steel with tongue and groove heavy flooring, not just plywood,
Oh, okay.
Very high end, heavy built trailer. And they're already getting a lot of interest and starting to move out. Now, they're not the little cheap low end trailers. You come look at those, you're expecting a high quality, and something's going to last. That's the key.
You renting those as well?
We haven't rented those so far. I don't know our plan on those. We've had so many people looking at them, and we expect them to be such good sellers. We're not sure if we're putting them in rental service because they become used at that point. But we may very well. We have good selection. Something I don't know if I mentioned much before, we have a brand of aluminum trailers that are really high-end, heavy-built, very capable aluminum trailers. Anybody that knows much about trailers, aluminum trailers are a little more expensive, but they last so long. Corrosion resistance, lightweight. You can haul more equipment on an equivalent rated trailer because of its lightweight. We have them in car hauler style that actually hydraulically kneels down for a car, like a low profile, like a lot of people who do show cars are interested in driving those because they can drive on to a real low angle, if that makes sense, and then it hydraulically lifts up to carry their car, their prized possession, so to speak.
Yeah, like I say sometimes, what are they going to think of next?
Exactly. It's amazing.
That sounds like that has a lot of potential.
It really does. And those we have talked about as car show season starts to get into swing with the weather. We probably will be renting those guys who like to take their cars, say, to Pigeon Forge or somewhere to big car shows. And a lot of them may have a trailer, but a lot of them may be ready to upgrade. And that's a very high-end option, very high quality, dependable option. The money they spend on those classic cars, they want to take care of them.
Well, I excuse my ignorance here, but I'm thinking you either got to transport that thing or you got to drive it, I suppose.
Exactly.
If you bought or perhaps rented one of these trailers, you put that behind your truck or whatever vehicle that's pulling it, you're going to save quite a bit of gas. That might pay for the rent. I don't know.
That's right. You always have your diehard. It's just like in the motorcycle world. Some of them trailer them everywhere, but some of them wouldn't think of it. They ride them everywhere. In classic cars, excuse me, I'm sure they like to keep the miles down and the wear and tear down. And you put it up on that nice trailer that has a front wall across it. We call it a stone guard to keep road debris from ever hitting your car. And other than putting it inside, actually those box trailers I was talking about, some of those are suitable for putting a car inside. But lots of options. Lots of options.
Well, just come see James at Harris Trading, 1331 Sparta Pike. We've got to take a break right here. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford. And get that regular oil change, $39.95 up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal, 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Continues to get a little bit heavy now on 40 westbound, coming past the Wilson County line there into Davidson County as you come in through from Mount Juliet towards Hermitage. Traffic's really crowded again southbound, 65 in Millersville. That's been on and off like that all morning long through that section of Sumner County. Speaking of Sumner County, it is crowded now westbound Vietnam Vets through Hendersonville all the way up to Conference Drive. Hey, Princess Hot Chicken is hiring at all their locations. You can order online anytime today at princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Simple banking, simply better. Since 2004, that's been our motto at Cedar Stone Bank. I'm Bob McDonald. We know that financial decisions can sometimes be complicated, but that doesn't mean solutions have to be. Whether you're buying a new home, renovating your existing home, or buying a car, or maybe you're a business that needs to purchase equipment for the building you operate from, we have all the technology that will allow you to do your banking online or on the telephone, or you can come in one of our beautiful branches and see our great people. With locations in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Nashville, Cedar Stone Bank. Simple banking, simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you facing a challenging time that you need help navigating? Well, look no further than your local law firm of Kane & Crowell. At the offices of Kane & Crowell, we understand the complexities that come with family law matters. Whether you're going through a divorce, working through child custody or support matters, or needing a will or trust drafted to protect your family assets for future generations. Kane & Crowell, 615-784-4800. Your local leaders in family law matters.
1.5 seconds left, no timeouts. Here's your season. Negron gives it to Bird. Bird for the win. It's gone! He did it! College Hoops is back, and so is Cumberland University on the radio. Join me, John Boyce, in the booth for every Mid-South Conference game this regular and postseason for both men's and women's Phoenix basketball. Conference games are every Thursday starting at 5:30 and every Saturday starting at 1 o'clock. Phoenix basketball is right here on 98.9. Cumberland's a winner.
And thanks for joining us. Welcome to our final segment here for this Wednesday morning. James Van Hook's here. He's talking about Harris Trading Company. The location's 1331 Sparta Pike. It's just south of the Watertown exit on I-40. And just south of the exit means it's on the Watertown side. But anyway.
That's right.
I don't know what all has been there in the past, but since Harris has had it there, you've just seen things really building up and a bigger collection. And every time I go by there, it seems like you've got a little bit more, and you are adding all the time, right?
That's right. We're constantly adding. They're clearing and developing some land back behind us for additional use. Yeah, I remember my mother still lives just out past there, and that's where I grew up. And I remember that was just woods and a couple little houses and things like that over the years. But man, it's different now.
Well, if you haven't seen it, I mean, if you like to see something different or see change that's taken place, just drive out and see what all they have. But there's so much equipment that is there now, such a diverse thing.
Exactly.
We talk about a few of them here, but if we talked about everything that's out there, it'd probably take 2 or 3 programs.
It's kind of funny. I think about it like there's not a whole lot of stores that you drive through.
Yeah.
You drive through this store to look and then park close to what you want to look at closer. I know we had a customer in there yesterday, as a matter of fact, who had been in there several times. And when you come in our gate, I bet there's 3 acres at least just to the right that's covered with trailers.
Mm-hmm.
And he came in, I know was his 3rd or 4th time there at least, and he said, I didn't realize y'all had trailers. There is so much stuff to look at. If you glance to the left as you pull in, there's just a whole acres and acres of skid steer equipment, excavators, tractors, agricultural equipment. And then as you leave, if you're looking that way also, you may not even see these whole 3 acres of trailers on one side or vice versa. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just amazing. I'm still walking through there and finding new stuff every day. Of course, we have new stuff coming in almost every day also.
Yeah. Well, speaking of new stuff, you got any more you want to talk about?
Gosh, maybe kind of puts me on the spot. I know there's a lot, and I may forget a lot. We've had, like I was talking about, some additional skid steer implements that have came in, the post drivers, the rock hammers. We've gotten a good new selection, increased our inventory of small compact tractors. We carry the Yanmar brand, which some people may not really know as much about Yanmar. They've been building engines specifically for multiple other big name tractor companies for years and have built their own tractor for years, but now they're focusing more on that. And they're one of the few that build it from the ground up. They don't source anybody else's engine. great little tractor. It come with 10-year powertrain warranties. You don't hear of that much.
They're made here in this country?
Yes. I'm drawing a senior moment here, drawing a blank on what the town is where their U.S. facility is at.
Yeah.
But it was originally a Japanese company, originally, but built here now, and are really gaining a lot of popularity, and a very well price point tractor also.
Pretty diverse in size?
Yes, what we're stocking now is from 21 horse all the way up to 59 horse.
Mm-hmm.
They're not in a very large market, like 100 plus horsepower yet. They may be overseas in that larger category. I'm not 100% sure. They may be starting to expand that here in the States. But right now we carry up to 59 horse, very capable tractor for this part of the country, for what most people need.
Well, people can come and take a look at that. And
yes, sir.
You're going to be renting them? Do you rent them?
We do have a couple of different ones right now that we rent. One may have a backhoe on the back and a front end loader on the front, then another one with a loader, and you can pair it up with a tiller or a bush hog or a box blade. Yeah. They're small subcompact tractors for a lot of people who just need them occasionally, or the homeowner that has just a few acres they need to clean up, and a lot of people with 5 to 10 acres that have moved out into the country, got them a little farm, are buying those, in the 23, 25, 35 horsepower size.
Well,
you can do a lot of stuff with those tractors.
Before you make a decision, I'd at least check it out, see
Absolutely.
if it might be for you.
Absolutely.
I take it that they're priced to go to.
Absolutely.
Affordably priced and.
Affordably priced, right? Yanmar's, they're not trying to be the very, very cheapest out there, but they are very competitive price, price point, very favorable compared to some. And of course, we offer 2 or 3 different choices on financing. We have the factory rebates are in effect, so they definitely need to come see us and check those out.
Well, I know you have a lot of friends. You've lived here all your life, except maybe when you were in the service or
yes, sir,
off a little bit. But mostly you're a Lebanon guy.
Yes, sir.
You have a lot of friends here, and no doubt you'd love for them to come and see you, check you out. But primarily you're there to rent, but you also sell. So you're in sales and rent. Right?
Yes, sir. They can come. Like you say, know a lot of people around here, and it's funny how many. I've been there several months now, going on about 6 months, and still a lot of people didn't realize I was there. Had a customer come in yesterday I've known for years and years, and luckily I was the one who called him when he came on the lot and was able to help him out. But it's hard to keep up with everybody, you know.
Oh, absolutely. But whether you want to buy or whether you want to rent, and sometimes that's a decision in itself.
That's right.
Which do I want to do? And we've talked about that quite a bit. But there's a time to buy, there's a time to rent, and you can do both. So come see James at 1331 Sparta Pike. But here again, you talk again about the area that you have here. You got, I don't know how many acres, but it's a spacious place, and you're needing more room.
That's right.
Because of all the stuff that you've got put in there. So, and I'm sure it's catching on. More people are finding out. More hadn't been there forever.
Right.
You know, when did they actually open the
They've
gates?
been at that location, I guess, about 14 months. I think officially opened that location in mid or late December of 22.
Okay.
So
just
about
really
14
just a
months.
little over a year.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Well, 1331 Sparta Pike, just south of the Watertown exit on I-40. But if you're headed to Watertown, you go by Uncle Pete's. It's over there on the left. And if you're looking to the left,
you can't miss it. That's right.
There's so much to see.
That's exactly right.
Talk about your hours. We hadn't mentioned that this morning.
Right. We're open Monday through Friday. Right now, still kind of on what you might call our wintertime hours, 7 to 5:30. Mm-hmm. During the summer, we stayed open until 6, and we haven't gone back to that yet. But Saturday, we open 8 to 4. And then even on Sunday, and a lot of people don't like to do business on Sunday, but we do have a guy who opens if people just want to drive through and look, or they could purchase something. But just 11 to 3 on Sunday, it's available.
All right. Well, keep all of that in mind, and we haven't mentioned many brands this morning, but you've got a little more information. We got about a minute and a half.
We have a ton of brands. Sunward is our excavator and skid steer line right now. We have Giant brand wheel loaders. Of course, I mentioned Yanmar tractors, scissor lifts, Snorkel and Genie brands. CID is our American-made heavy-duty top line of equipment implements, like skid steer implements, your buckets, your grapples, it's just an endless list of those. Also mentioned Icon and Epic brand golf carts, recreational type golf carts. They're coming into season, and our Spartan and Toro lines of lawnmowers. We've still got them actually in the warehouse. Keep in mind the weather for the winter, but we'll be bringing them out soon. But we can certainly take them down the road to the warehouse and sell them a mower now if they'd like to, make them a good deal on a lawnmower.
Well, keep Harris Trading in mind, whether you're wanting to buy or whether you're wanting to rent, and especially if you're wanting to rent, you want to see James Van Hook. His number is 615-547-4033.
That's right. Yes, sir.
547-4033. James Van Hook, Harris Trading Company, 1331 Sparta Pike. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Coleman.
All right. That's going to do it for Wednesday. Join us tomorrow for the Thursday edition. Till tomorrow, I wish you a wonderful day.